Gizaburuaga still preserves remains of its past splendour, when the lineage and power of the Bengollea family was evident. Even the stone bridge with its wooden balustrade bearing the family name boasts an unusual coat of arms that depicts the territory surrounding the tower. As far as our main characters' dams were concerned, their main novelties lay in their being built using arches and buttresses as opposed to Roman-type dams whose walls were built without. This was at a time when the so-called gravity dams were being built. When comparing these dams to his, he maintained that his dams withstood the pressure of water better and lasted longer than other dams did. In his articles he writes, "I find them safer, more solid and cheaper than those dams built using arches, as I shall demonstrate later. When the stream of the river is slight, one arch is enough, and when it's bigger, they can use 2, 3, 4 or even 5. The dams of Larisoleta and Errotabarri are fine examples of his theories. Laritzaurre or Errotaza, a mill that had previously been built upriver with its own mill pool, gives us the opportunity to get to know the mechanisms behind mill production that give improved performance. Just rubble remains of the mill, because the flow itself was flooded as a result of the previously mentioned Larisoleta dam being built. This information panel shows us that instead of keeping both the mill and flow together, were we to increase the corresponding channel or flow in length, then we'd be able to increase the force of the water, thereby increasing the height of the waterfall and producing more energy. After being brought up to date thanks to an interesting remodeling project, the irregularly shaped Ibeta Dam in Aulesti, which shares the same technique as the Larisoleta Dam, provides us with a perfect working but smaller example of how a mill pool or flow works. Water runs the length of the channel to the mill. The combined force of several smaller flows of water makes the wheel or main pieces move, thus transmitting their rotational force. Some examples of more recent mills exist today, but they've fallen into disuse. We could say that Pedro Bernardo Villarreal de Berriz was a man compromised with the times in which he lived, when he had the opportunity of involving himself directly in the future and compromise. He was at the right place and time, when the very first shoots of intellectual movements that were to flourish in the later modernization of the southern Basque country were starting to germinate. The river Lea, steeped in history, also shows us other ways in which we can appreciate it. Along its length we'll see several bridges that will catch our eye. Ansior in Aulesti is typical of bridges built in the 17th and 18th centuries. It's an andabidi or funeral bridge over which the dead were carried. This type of bridge therefore represents the link between the typical Basque farmhouses and the grave. In a better state of preservation, Pontorroy still shows traces of bricks made from slag from the ironworks and paving from the original roadway. It's embrasured at each end, rather like a sort of funnel. Subibarri in Munitibar has a similar structure. As it stood on the old medieval roadway, the bridge is on the wine and fish trading route we mentioned earlier. This road leads to Durango before going over Urquiola to Vitoria before joining the Castilian plain in La Rioja. If we've been talking about aspects related to the past history of Lea Ibarra till now, let's now turn to something quite different. The Bengolla Alternative Energies theme park that stands in a privileged spot as far as this particular initiative is concerned. Along with Andra Mari de Gerikaits, the park is probably the most attractive cherry, so to speak, of the whole project. It's a commitment to the future, to which all the towns and villages of the region, led by the Man community, have invested all the means at their disposal. Well, as I mentioned before, the Man community had then assumed control of the project. We had many meetings with Man community technicians and external technicians too. They said they thought the theme park in the project was a bit poor, and so they decided to give it the importance they thought it really deserved. A more ambitious project, perhaps, than what had been originally planned. People said that, well, to tell you the absolute truth, they said things like, "You've got to do something that'll make visitors really flip when they see it. It's got to be a natural setting, but should reflect culture, leisure, alternative energies, teaching courses, etc. The theme park unites all they wanted to implement, but centralized in one single spot. We then went back to the original project, developed it more, and then split it into 3 phases. The first was the urbanization of the park. The second dealt with everything related to the alternative energy buildings, and the third phase concerned the installation of the solar panels. We wanted the design to be fresh and attractive. We wanted people to love the design. That's when the Man community got in touch with Lea Ibarra, perhaps the most famous sculptor in the region, who lives here in Munitibar. And so the project gradually gained momentum. The finishing touch, I think, was when he designed not just an attractive work, but the bridge we've installed in Bengola. It's a steel bridge that weighs about 12 to 15 tons. Visitors will love the bridge when they see it. It's very impressive. It'll certainly help us sell the Munitibar Alternative Energies Park as far as the public is concerned. We could describe the work of the sculptor known as Ube either as a bridge sculpture or as a sculpture bridge, depending upon our own particular conception of the work. Conceived as a rectangular box, the work seems to suggest a dimension in which the practical function for which it was designed flows into an artistic expression that's not only innovative, but also a reflection of contemporary Basque sculpture. Made from pieces of cotton steel, the bridge measures 12 meters long, 4 meters wide and 3.7 meters high. The rounded edges are some 20 millimeters thick. The 2 double T-shaped beams used to secure the bridge to its foundations give exceptional rigidity to the spot where the bridge is anchored. 4 26mm thick stainless steel cables measuring some 15 meters long run through the 36 perforations along the length of the bridge in an aesthetically pleasant way, linking all the different pieces together. The installation of this work in Bengola, with the special impact it has on account of its design and symbolic charge, means that one more of the several buildings that are currently under construction, designed to form part of the renewable energy theme park, has been completed. With a 3-phase investment of nearly €4 million, the Department for the Environment of the Bizkaia County Council has contributed 75% of the total investment. That also includes work concerning Lea Ibarra and the Bengola project. The Man community, for its part, anticipates investing some €600,000 in order to start work on the first phase of an interpretation centre for alternative energy sources, as well as a research space about the subject in the same area. The main 2-storey building will be equipped with the latest systems. In addition to other facilities, it will have exhibition halls, a meeting centre and a multi-use hall.